Yo, what is up guys? We are back with another All the Mods 10 video. This is episode 16 and we are just going to be going through a few odd and end things that we kind of been putting off for a while. In the past couple of videos we did actually set up a bunch of stuff like our distillation for our fissile fuel, which I did upgrade to make go faster, but it does consume a lot of power and we just don't have the power to support like a crazy amount of fissile fuel being generated. At least not with upgrades. So like right now we're producing a steady amount, and maybe we'll get to that in this video. Maybe that'll be in episode 17. Not 100% sure, but a few things I know we do need to get prepared for the fissile fuel creation, or like the fission reactor, is like we're going to want to get into integrated dynamics so that we can cool everything and do everything like that. So we're just going to work through a few of those mods, plus also get this unobtainium jetpack real quick. So first thing, we have a diamond jetpack on right now. It's not really necessary, but we're just going to do it anyways. We have a diamond jetpack, so we got to get it to emerald tier, which will take 11 of these. And then we need to make the emerald batteries. We need 5 batteries. Boom, just like that. And then we can make 2 thrusters like that. And then make the battery itself, or the capacitor. And then boom, now we have a emerald jetpack. And now to get to all the modium, it's kind of going to be the same thing. So we need 11 elite coils, which we're going to need some more sticks. Let's just craft those instant crafts, which is nice. And then that's 11. So then we need to make all the modium batteries, which we need 5 of these. Boom. And then we need to make all the modium thrusters, which we can do. And then we need to make all the modium capacitor bank. And then boom, we have an all the modium jetpack. Now we're just going to do the same for vibranium, which is going to take the next level coil, which is actually cool. I didn't know it went up to that. And then we also need to make the batteries for this. We need to have 5 batteries. And then we need to make the 2 thrusters. And then the battery bank itself. And then we should be able to make the vibranium. And then now we gotta do it one more time for all the modium with the ultimate coil. So we're gonna need 11 coils. And then we are going to need the 5 batteries. And then we need to make the unobtainium boosters, and then the unobtainium capacitor, and then we can make the unobtainium jetpack, which I believe is the highest tier jetpack you can get, besides the creative jetpack, which really, besides having the ATM star, it's not that expensive. But now we can toss that on, and that holds 180 million. The hover on it is basically like you don't move at all, which is what I really wanted it for. And that's that knocked out of the way. Definitely it's not anything that's needed for the quest line. It's just helpful like with base design, moving around, everything like that, because it is a lot faster also. But between episodes I did do a little bit more building, and I cleared out this room, which is just the 4th room over, because we have these rooms, all the stuff. So like this room right here, just for right now, we're gonna put the integrated dynamics in there. So what we're gonna have to make is a squeezer. We'll just put this on this wall right here, which there's a way to like automate this. Well, we do need to have a pressure plate. Pressure plate, it doesn't matter what kind of pressure plate that we make. We just do spruce because we have spruce. Cool, thank you. Didn't put it in the right location. And that resets it. And then, so what we can do is, then we can grab some mineral logs, because that is what it takes right here. Which actually, hold on, we need to make a basin first. Let's make a drying basin first. And we're actually going to move this to the other side, because I believe we can have that go straight into there. Did that fill up? It did not, but we can pipe it into there, I believe. So if we go pipes, take fluid, do that, and then put the drying basin back down. Like that, and then take our wrench, I believe. Yep, that pumps it out, and then this will dry, which this will also come in handy right here, because we can speed that up. And now we have the mineral pieces, like that. And so what we want to get is a mechanical squeezer. So we're going to want to get, so we need the energized cube, so we're going to need a few blocks of this. I believe we should have enough now. So to make this, we need to make 2 of these. Boom, we got 2 of those. And then we need a squeezer. Boom, have 1 of those. And then now we should be able to create this mechanical squeezer. So we should be able to just delete this one, pop that down, and then it does need RF, which we have RF, no issue. Put that right there. Don't need this anymore. Oop. I definitely just didn't know I could do that. So it has RF, so now if we put the mineral logs in, it'll automatically pump that out, and then we can have a item pipe, just for simplicity's sake real quick, take that out and put it into a bin chest. This is not going to be the final setup. We actually, I don't think we need too much of this, but like, we'll just do it like that, because now that'll pump in, I believe, once this is set up. And then if we time warp this, now we're just getting a bunch of minerals. And then there's a mechanical drying basin, which I don't know what this is. Using energy, which this is just fine, just how it is right now. It is basically just, if we grab some more mineral logs, and we'll just like that. And that's filling up. What does this guy have? Does it need to have anything we need? No. Wait, what is this? No. Get those out of here. Oh my god. And the only reason we needed that is so that we could create unlimited water using their dynamic systems. So like we can honestly just let this run for right now. We can put another stack of the mineral in there and be done with this. And just let it function on its own with its drying and everything along those lines. And that's basically that done. So that was that portion done. I do want to make this Eclipse wand because I thought it was cool. I seen it in a video of just Direwolf 20s, and like he was doing like teleporting through walls and stuff with it. So I thought that was pretty cool. We have everything to create it, so it's really just creating it. Oh, you need forged ender. Wait, you don't have forged. This should just be charging. Oh, it's charged. Oh, allows me to teleport. Okay. Eclipse gate. Right click for settings. Eclipse gate. Void shift. Don't need that. Oh, I believe that just, yeah, it comes back. So now we can, okay, jump rooms like that, but we don't need it to be that that big. What is that, 3 by 3? So now if we, yeah, that's not bad. We can go with that one. Because now if we wanted to, we can just like go through the floor just like that, pop back up if need be. Same thing means just going through literally anything we want to go through. Say we want to look at something, we can just do that. I wonder what's the 1, because that seems to be doing 3 deep. So is it a 3 by 3 and then now it's by 1. So now if we, oh yeah, we can keep it on that. Because then if we want to, we can just go through rooms and whatnot using the void shift, which is really cool. So that's done. And so I guess what we can do is we can start getting everything made for the fission reactor, and we can build it in the next episode. So like we're gonna need the armor, which is just the hazmat suit, which is made from lead and orange dye. Pretty simple, and black dye. So we have the hazmat suit, easy enough. We'll just toss that in there. And then this is where it's cool that they added it in here. I believe if we, yep, if we right click on the reactor itself when trying to build it, you can actually customize the signs that you want. So what we're going to want, I believe we're going to want 5 port, or no, we're going to want 4 port. So we're going to want water in, we are going to want fissile fuel in, then we're going to want waste out and steam out. And so that would be 4, yep. And then we are going to want this to be a 7 by, so width 7, length, height, we're going to want it to be a 9. So 7 by 7 by 9 is what we're going to want. And we are going to use reactor glass, and so this will give us a burn rate of, max burn rate of 70 middle buckets, so that's not big enough. So height, maybe we'll do a height of 18, and then a length of 9, width of 9. We'll do a width of 9. We'll make it like this. Give us a max for burn rate of 315 middle buckets a tick, and this is how much it's going to cost us, which isn't that bad. So what we'll need to make is basically 2 stacks of fission reactor casing. So let's make 2 stacks, and then we will put this in here. So that's done. And then if we go back to this, it saves it. So we have the 2 stacks. Now we need the 5 stacks of fission fuel assemblers. So 1, we need a lot more of these, which is fine. Ooh, lead, which we have lead, thankfully. I don't know how much lead we have, but we do have. So we need 5 stacks of these. So that's 4, almost 4. So that's 5.5 stacks right there. So we have 5 stacks, we can toss these in there. So there's the 5 stacks done of that. And then we are going to need 8 stacks of reactor glass, which if that is the case, I don't, ooh, we need enriched iron and we need glass. So we're gonna make a pattern for this one. And we also need to make a pattern for enriched iron, which will be like this. Oh, not like that quite. So let's do coal. Right, because this will make how much in a enrichment chamber? And the usage of enrichment chamber. Crusher, item chemical will give us 10 middle buckets. To make 1 enriched iron, it takes 10 middle buckets. So that's a 1-for-1. I'm okay with that. So we can do that. And then to make this, we have that. but we need to make reactor glass. To make this, we need to also make this, which we can do that. And then so we can toss this one in there, that one in there, and then we need this one to be in the enrichment chamber, which we have a spot for it. We also have a carbon pattern. So hold on, let's see if we can change that to carbon. Carbon. Change that to that. And then this makes how much? 80. So this needs to be for iron. We can do 8 iron. We'll make 8 enriched iron because it only takes 10 millibuckets of carbon, which we have the enriched carbon, which will create 80. So that's how that plays out. And then boom, put that in there. And then now we should be able to auto craft the reactor glass. And we need 64 times 8. One of the coolest things part of this is just like it's a computer, so like 64 times 8, you don't even have to do the math yourself, you just put it in there. So when that's done, we'll grab that, and then we need 4 fission reactors, which we can make those. So we just need some fission reactor casing. Ooh, how do you make this? So we need some of these too, so we make 64 of those. We need some more of these. Ooh, we are out of seeds, so we need 16 of those. Oh, actually, we only needed 4 because we made 2. So that's done. Control rod assembly. We don't have those yet. We can make that. That's not that difficult. Let's see how many we need first. Control rods, we need 21. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 21, so that's created. And then fission reactor logic adapters, I believe we need 5 of these. One, two, three, four, 5. We have those. And we're gonna need a bunch of waste barrels. And let's check on our glass. Are we getting halted on something? So let's see what we can do in our factory real quick to speed this process up. So we have everything, but it is not crafting. Okay, let's do 64 times 8 one more time. And yet, don't know what it's getting halted up on. Is it not supposed to be in the, so it's carbon. Oh, it needs to be in the metaphor. That's why. It needs to be in the metallurgic infuser. So now if we do the 64 times 8, yeah, it should be done momentarily fast. Unless the carbon's not able to be created. Carbon. What is the carbon supposed to be in? Oh, an enrichment chamber. Enrichment chamber, 1 coal will turn into 1 enriched carbon. Okay. And this is getting home. So available 60. Saying we have 64 available. Let's cancel that. We do have a 64 carbon. Glass, reactor glass. Go to 512. Is the craft wrong, or will it not make the enriched iron? Oh, we didn't set this one up. That's why. That one needs to be extra. This needs to be input, output, auto eject on, and we also need to take this and do we have that in here? We need to do the advanced mode, put that in, and that needs to go in regular. But this one is going to want to. Which way is I'm facing? Control J. I am facing west, so I believe it needs to come out or go on the west side, like that. Put that in there, and then now if we request it, there we go. So that was the issue, just some computer issues, nothing major. Got that all figured out. And then can we make the waste barrels 64? That's a good amount to have because we need the waste barrels. And then we're going into turbine, which once we have the reactor glass, which we're almost there, we can start working on the turbine, which will be simple to make, shouldn't be too difficult. What does it take? Steel. I believe we have steel essence. Do we not have steel essence? Yeah, we do, but I think it's all being turned into steel. So reactor glass, that's all set. So that's in there now. And now we just need to create the turbine casings. Actually, we need to do the same thing that we did with the other one. We need to make the links better. So we'll do a 5x9, which should be able to handle 896,000 millibuckets. And this will be producing how much water? Max burn rate, coolant taken, waste tank, heated coolant, 1 millibucket. Water heating rate, temp with water. Okay, so I believe like doing a good decent, doing this a 5x9 with structural glass and the max amount of rotors and condensers with 2 valves being right, or we could do a 7x9. So we're gonna need 10 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Made an extra one. Whoops. Okay, so that's fans done, and then we can do 24 pressure dispensers. Make some more fences. No problem. Boom, that's 24 of the pressure dispensers. And then it is 2 electromagnets. Just like that. And then it is 23 structural condenser, saturating condenser, 23, so that's all done. And then it is, after that, we have 1 stack, so we'll do that. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll make this glass into a recipe, and then it called for 2 stacks of glass, which is structural glass. So 64 times 2, easy enough. That was done. So we have the glass done, and then we need to do, we need 64 and 376 of this. So 68, 66. So is that 76? So that should be good right there. And we need 2 turbine valves. Easy enough. I believe we need 1 of these, which is for the fan. And then we'll need 10 of these. Yeah, we can check. So what we needed, we only needed 5 of those. Okay, 5 of those, 1 of those. So boom, boom. And then we need 65 turbine vents. Okay, we're not gonna toss all this in here. Oof. Turbine vents, and that should be everything we need to make our reactors over here. So what I'll actually do is I'll just grab 2 chests real quick. Chests. And so this is going to be our fission reactor location right here. So we will put all of our fission stuff right there. So that should be everything. And then over here will be our vent, or our windmill, which will take all of this stuff right here. And this takes us over here. Not that, this. And then right here we need to put our things, because that's where those are going to go. So I believe that's everything that we needed to do for that. So now if we go to our quests and go to mechanism reactors, so we created that, created all of this stuff. Yes, I understand. And over here, this stuff should be completed, but so I need my sulfur. Let's take some sulfur. Cake. Let's do 10. Take that. So I'm going to have to make all these machines again, which isn't a big deal because we have everything to make them. I'm just going to do it for a simple sake. Alright, so then now we need to make we need to get some fluorite in chemical dissolution chamber, which we can do that. So, 1, 2, that's chemical dissolution chamber right there, and then we just have to go to fluorite. We have a bunch of that, so that's those. And we make this next machine that we already have created downstairs, but it's alright. It's just to get through this portion, which we'll use these eventually most likely, so. Boom, okay, now we have that. Thankfully, we don't have to do that for everything else in this list. All right, so now in the next episode, we're going to be able to make our fission reactor and our windmill that will dissipate all of our coolant excess, and then we're not going to save any of that. We're just going to have it basically just be used for power, so it'll generate a little bit more power for us to be nice. But we're going to make these right here, so we have the fission reactor right there and the coolant right here. We're going to pipe it down right here and pipe any of our waste that we don't need down into this location. We do need to process the waste so that we can get into pellets, because we need polonium pellets, and we also need both of these pellets to be able to move on to antimatter and to get end game power. So when we are going through that process, we'll also set that up, and we will do that in the next episode. We are going to end up using a certain type of pipe in the next episode, so we're actually, we can go to logistics, basic logistics, and we are going to end up using mechanism pipes, obviously, because it's going to be the best. And it's going to be the thermal conductors, or I believe it's thermal conductors, yeah. Or conduction, insulation, heat capacity. There's going to be, no, it's for heat. We are actually going to do pressurized tubes. But that's what we're going to use to move everything, and so that's what we'll be doing in the next episode. So I will catch you guys later. See ya.